Alright, so you just got a new camera and you want to know how to set up your camera for video and manual mode. This video is for you. Alright, so if you watched my last video, then you know we have three main settings, right? We have shutter speed, we have aperture, and we have ISO. So it works virtually the same. If you open up your aperture, even if you're in video mode, then that brings more things into focus. So it's really up to you and kind of how you want to set up your shot. You have a lot of flexibility, unless you're in low light, then you have a little less flexibility. ISO, again, as you crank it, you get more grain. Now some cameras, depending on the camera brand and the level of camera, whether it's like a entry level camera of a pro level camera, then you'll have this dual based or triple based ISO, and basically it's kind of like some internal processing that cleans up the image, whether it be at 800 or 3200 or 6400 or 12800. It really just kind of depends on the camera that you have. Like I said, some pro level cameras have that 12,800 base ISO that you can really kind of see in the dark. It's pretty awesome. But those are typically more expensive cameras. So you'll just kind of have to do the research on your camera to see kind of what you have working with. I shoot with the R6 Mark II. And even though it doesn't have a dual based ISO, I've come to understand that at 3200 and 6400, something kind of does happen to make it less grainy. And then in post, I'll just put a denoise and I'm good to go. But again, that just comes with shooting with the camera that you have and that sort of thing. So let's talk about shutter speed. So typically in video, when you're doing any videography, you have some modes to select within the camera, whether it be 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, 60 or 120. And basically you want your shutter speed to be double whatever that number is. So a lot of people say that shooting in 20 frames per second is cinematic, and 30 frames is for social media. 4K 60 or whatever is kind of for sports because you can slow it down, and then you have 120, which you double, and that's really for slow motion video. It's really up to you. A lot of people want 4K slow mo because it looks really good. It definitely gets rid of some of the jitters that you have in the camera, just from basic hand movements and that sort of thing. It just gets you nice smooth footage. It's really up to you and what you're shooting. I kind of bounce between 24 and 30 when I'm shooting, any kind of content for social media or YouTube. I'm actually trying out 30 frames per second right now just to kind of see if I notice a big difference. It's really just personal preference at the end of the day. So that being said, so now you kind of have those three basic things set, and then you can set your white balance to whatever you please, right? It's all about personal preference and how you shoot video or content. But now, if you really think about it, if you go outside, you're shooting at such a slow shutter speed. Like right now, I'm 1/60. If you go outside, my image will be blown out. I want my aperture to stay at 2.8. I want my ISO to be as low as possible. So you really need these things called ND filters, and I'm going to kind of show you how that works. So ND filters you can think of kind of like transition lenses, right? When you go from inside to outside, you kind of get a little bit of a shade to kind of protect your eyes. ND filter works in the same way. So right now I have a KNF variable ND on this, and I'm going to turn it, and you're going to see the image get darker. So as I turn it, the image gets darker, which is great for exposing outdoors. So you really kind of need an ND filter to get things properly exposed when you're shooting outside in bright conditions. ND filters save your life. There's definitely some cameras, again, higher end cinema cameras, that have built-in ND filters. So you just click a button and you can kind of cycle through, which is nice because the ND filter is another thing that you have to kind of bring along with you, you know, when you're doing video shoots, and you don't really want to forget that. Some people crank their shutter speed. I'm personally not a fan of that. I really just think put an ND filter on there, keep everything exposed how I want it, and it just looks better. And then for me, when I'm shooting video, a lot of time I do want that blurry background, unless I'm shooting a big group of people. If it's just like a couple, I want that blurry background, so I want to keep my aperture as low as I can. So ND filters are lifesavers. I have a few. And then another thing, step up rings. I know I have a few different lenses that have different filter sizes, so I can use these step up rings or step down rings to kind of use the same ND filter for multiple lenses. So that's just another little thing. It's kind of just up to you. There's different brands, different types. You've got Polar Pro, which is kind of known to be top of the line, and then you've got, I really like K&F's concept stuff. So from their batteries to their ND filters to their cleaning kits, I just kind of like K&F. It's kind of middle of the road, but it's a good price and it's a good quality, in my opinion. So some may have difference of opinions, and they're welcome to them. So anyway, that's just a little, you know, kind of intro to video. I definitely plan on continuing this series. I have some other ideas, and we'll go from there. Peace.